time to finish the best season yet of Clone Wars. This time, Season 4 is finally coming to an end. Come with me as I continue to watch through the Clone Wars for the first time. Well, hello there! My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Welcome back once again, everyone. It's time to finish talking about Season 4. Last time we left off halfway through the whole Obi-Wan undercover arc, and now it's time to finish off that arc. So here we go. We're off to episode 17 of Season 4, The Box. Off to planet Sereno we go, where the stronghold is for Dooku, and we're having this whole tournament. Feels like we're doing a reference to a specific movie, maybe like a Cube type movie for this episode. But first, before we do too much with that, we've got to go jump elsewhere, because Yoda is going ahead and talking to Anakin and revealing the truth to him kind of like he needs to. Just a teensy bit right there. It's like, oh, what a mess they made of everything. Yeah. Wrong to deceive you it was, but much at stake there is. Yeah. You still screwed up, Yoda. You screwed up, man. And I got a comment on the little Empire Strikes Back kind of reference in his wording later on. He goes, if you leave, help him you could, but his future uncertain is. Trust in Obi-Wan we must. Kind of the whole Yoda line to Luke about helping his friends over at Cloud City. Definitely has some rings of similarity right there. So had to make a little bit of a note on that one. Okay, so then we get to go ahead and meet all of our different bounty hunters that are gathered up over there. So about a whole, 11 of them or so. We've got Kiera Swan. We don't really get to know a whole lot about these people. I guess she was a winner of the Obsidian Sphere. Which, to be honest, I have no idea what the Obsidian Sphere is. I'm curious, but no idea. There's Drown, the Exterminator, I guess? Sixtat, the Outlands Butcher. A lot of these sound like we're just making cool names for them, but I'm wondering if over within all the books or comics or anything else that there's been more flavor, more background given on some of these people. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm curious. And there's good old Embo. He's kind of cool. Apparently really good bounty hunter. Cad Bane, in case one needed to mention it. Racco Hardeen, who's being played by Obi-Wan in this case. The Marksman of Concord Dawn. So what's Concord Dawn? Okay, I'm curious about that too. There's so much I could go start looking up in here. Of course, I'm worried to look a bunch of things up just because I don't want to catch spoilers for what's going to happen later on in case any of that does just that. Then there's Jacoli, who never brings anyone back alive. So I guess our Boba Fett, who we got to stop him from disintegrating everyone, right? Something like that. And then Onka and his, now dead brother. So, we can kind of figure Onka ain't going much of anywhere, because so much for that legendary team. I gotta say, Cad Bane just killed Onka's brother just like that. No honor amongst bounty hunters, I guess? I think Onka, at the very least, would be taking some revenge if we're doing that. But no. Yeah, kill my brother. I'm fine with that, man. We know who top dog is around here. Twazi, who apparently received some praise from Chancellor Valorum for all kinds of good acrobatics. Definitely sounds like some backstory there that could be expanded on. And hey, there's two others, I guess. Sinrich, who invented a whole holographic disguise matrix. That sounds cool. Or Mantu. And there's this interesting piece about how there's clearly a lot of backstory because apparently Mantu's people were once a peaceful race and look how far they've fallen. It's like, ooh. Dang this, there's all kinds of backstory. We could expand on every one of these different bounty hunters and find out so much more about them. Makes me curious. And then they apparently all agreed to come here and do this, and the ideas are all going to go into the cube, and the best 5 who make it through. So if only 5 make it through, it's good. If not, the best 5 and the rest will get killed? I gotta say, damn, that better be one hell of a lot of money you're getting paid to go through a risk like that. Wow. Okay, so now it's going to be time to go into the box. And again, I swear this has to be a reference to the cube. It just feels that way. Maybe there's something else I don't know too that it's referenced to, but it feels that way to me. So each room has this different color going on with it. There's a different challenge in there. In the first room, the white room, there's a whole bunch of gas that you have to go ahead and avoid because you're going to die otherwise. But hey, the whole point is you find the exit down below the gas and you make it out. And Obi-Wan figures that one out. Nobody dies. So we move on to the second room. Ooh, so we get jutting out little things with fire swords or something like that on the end of them. Black room, so they really stand out against that. So we have a couple of people die. And hey, guess what? Again, Obi-Wan figures out how to get out. Yay, Obi-Wan again. You bounty hunters suck if you're not Obi-Wan. Hey, on to challenge 3 in the red room. So apparently there's a serum there that will let someone pass through a whole shield to get to the control. But guess what? That serum is toxic to all but one person in the room. And so somebody dies in there. And what's new? I think we have like 3 people die in this challenge. Now, when I first saw this one, I'm like, oh, hey, maybe Hardeen finally, i.e. Obi-Wan, maybe Obi-Wan finally won't be the key to their survival for once. Well, apparently he is again, because he's the only one who can understand what the Parlam was actually saying. And so therefore he helps and figures, yeah, it's a 50-50. His blood will avoid the whole bad toxin there just because he's good at that. Fine, let's move on to challenge 4. Maybe there's another bounty hunter in here, the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. Maybe one of them can actually be really useful this time. Okay, challenge 4. We're over, we've got this whole fire floor out and around, and there's only 6 people left alive at this point, so I mean, almost everybody should make it through. And apparently this is a sniper skill test. Well, the first person up, well, they try, they hit a couple of them, and then miss, and they fall into the fire and die. Well, Obi-Wan's up next. He hits 3 of them successfully, and boom, very nicely done. But then, Aval, not liking Obi too much here. He makes him do 5 more of them, but there are only 4 charges left in the gun. And so, of course, Aval is going to try to use this as an excuse to kill him, and Cad Bane saves his life, and then we have this whole big combat between Aval and Obi-Wan, because Dooku wants that to go ahead and happen because he's gotten pissed off at Aval. And, well, Obi-Wan, of course, wins, and chooses not to kill Aval. And Cad Bane gets put in charge at the end. So, there you go. That was that episode, The Box. Definitely some fun in the challenges, I will say that. And all told, I mean, it's an okay episode. It was a bit of a departure from the previous 2. Really, it kind of felt filler to me. We didn't need this episode as part of the arc. We could have had a 3-episode arc, and it would have fit better and just done this as something completely separate. Take Obi-Wan out of it, by the way, as well. Especially because of how he got used here. The problem was, best bounty hunters in the galaxy. We set that up. And then it's Obi-Wan every dang time being the one that's heads and shoulders above all the other best bounty hunters in the galaxy. So yeah, I think it would have been better if we had just set it up somewhere else in the course of the season, and it was just a whole bunch of bounty hunters we didn't know maybe, or maybe we could know a couple of them. But then really make them working together and really make it so that it's not just one always the best. But hey, I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed this kind of thing with the puzzles and going through it. So I did enjoy and had fun watching it, even given all the problems I had with the episode. And that brings us on to the next one. Let's finish off this arc. Our arc? See if I can say the word arc, everyone. So let's finish off this arc. So this one is Crisis on Naboo. So we're busy having the Festival of Light over Naboo, and that's the spot where we're going to have the whole kidnapping of Chancellor Palpatine. Or the attempt at it, anyway. Off the bat, I thought it was interesting how we're seeing many of the bounty hunters simply knock out the different texts that they're having to get through. Cad Bane straight out shoots them dead. There's a difference for you between the different bounty hunters. Yeah. Oh, and now we've got this cool shadow hologram thing that changes what people look like. That's intriguing. So these are some cool little self-projecting holograms and whatnot. Very, very cool. Although, a scary tech to have exist. I mean, think about how that could get used. Yikes. On our good guy side, we got Mace, Anakin, and Ahsoka over there to go ahead and protect the Chancellor. I loved a little conversation between Anakin, Ahsoka, and Padme. Anakin's got this whole little, hopefully I'll be where I always am. Ahsoka, he means saving the day. Padme, of course he does. Uh-huh. Yeah. Anakin, you got a little bit of a hero complex there, huh? Yep. Let's see, we find out that Naboo joined the Republic 847 years ago, because that's the whole point of what this celebration is for. It's an interesting little bit of trivia for you. I like the cleverness of having one bounty hunter decide to project themselves as Chancellor Palpatine and then make Chancellor Palpatine project as someone else. So that way, they've got to protect Palpatine and they let the other guy go who just looks like a guard. Nice. And if you're going to use that tech, yeah, that looks like a good way to do it. Man, that's powerful tech. Oof. I was wondering why Dooku didn't show up to the rendezvous after the bounty hunters captured Palpatine. I'm going, what am I missing? I'm missing something. There's a reason he knew not to show up. We find out later, but that's going to come a little bit later here. Now, we had a pretty cool fight between Obi-Wan and Cad Bane, an unarmed Obi-Wan. That was a fun one to watch. Oh, and I must say, Cad Bane's reaction to finding out that Hardeen was actually Obi-Wan was priceless. Oh, very nice. Yeah. So now we move on and we have Anakin talking to Obi-Wan. This is a conversation that has been coming for a little while. So Anakin talks about how the Jedi Council lied to him. And Obi-Wan, decides to say, being the honest person that he is, that it was his decision to make Dooku believe Anakin's reaction. You can kind of make a quick and easy guess how the hell that one went over. I mean, Anakin turns on him. You lied to me. And how many lies has the council told me? And how do you even know you've gotten the full truth, Obi-Wan? Huh? How do you know they're not lying to you too? Yeah, you want to talk about majorly hurting Anakin's faith in the rest of the Jedi. Ooh, this is a good one for that. Congrats, Palpy, you certainly got that one. Yikes. Whoa. And Obi-Wan, you screwed up, man. You should have known your Padawan better than that. Well, I mean, he's a Jedi Knight now, but he was his Padawan, point being. Okay, let's move on. Obi-Wan decides to go ahead and check and find out why the hell Dooku wasn't there. By looking over in a sniper case, because guess what? There was a comms in there, so Dooku heard everything. As Obi-Wan was busy talking to people like Mace while up there in his sniper post. Knew there was something else up with that one. Knew there was some reason Dooku knew not to show up. Nice that they went ahead and gave us that info as to why. Okay, here we get into some other really good stuff. I mean, we already had the good Anakin Obi-Wan conversation. And now, hey, it's Palpatine and Anakin. Ooh, you know where this is going. So Palpatine opens this whole thing up with a load of bullshit, let's be frank. He already knows this is pure manipulative bullshit. I must say, the lengths the Jedi will go to is nothing short of incredible. I assume the brilliant plan to disguise Obi-Wan Kenobi was yours. Dang. Woo. Yeah. So Anakin, no, it wasn't, sir. I was in the dark as much as you were. Really? Interesting. I was under the impression the Jedi always worked as a team. Oh, Palpy. Yeah. And just, I gotta admit, I love seeing these pieces. They just give that much more depth to everything else we've seen in the movies as far as Palpatine's manipulations of Anakin. And we get an idea for just the way he does and how insidious it is. I mean, it's ugly to watch at the same time, don't get me wrong. So we're not done with the episode yet. You could think, yeah, but we'll end it there. No. We're going to have a good old fight between Anakin and Dooku because, oh no, we spring a trap. Although, it's really only a trap for Anakin, not really a trap for Palpatine, because I'm pretty bloody sure he knew Dooku was there. And then during this fight between them, you've got Palpy just watching the fight, and you can see him judging Anakin, figuring out how far he's gone, how close he thinks he is. Well, Anakin's doing pretty well in the fight. Hey, so what does Dooku do? It's Force Lightning for the save again. Oh, yeah, that's probably it. Obi-Wan pops in really late in the battle. And then Dooku, just to go ahead and egg on Anakin a little bit, he does this whole little, well done, Obi-Wan, you are a worthy adversary. I cannot say the same about your apprentice. Even if Anakin very much is a worthy adversary. No doubt Palpatine was telling him, well, I should say, as Sidious, he was telling good old Dooku to egg Anakin on and keep pushing him. I'm sure that's where that came from. Oh, yeah. We have a few more fun lines right at the end. We specialize in heroics, Chancellor. Good old Obi-Wan. Reminds me of his line, episode 3? Yeah. Sith Lords are our speciality. Yup. Anyway, let's see. Palpatine, though, gets the great closing lines. Because after Anakin goes ahead and talks to him and says, as long as I live, no harm will ever come to you, my excellency. Well, here's to your long and prosperous life, Anakin. But the closing one is the best. One shudders to think where the galaxy would be without the Jedi. Shudders to think, do ya? Oh, you insidious bastard. Yeah. Man. Loved this episode. This was definitely fun. Watching Palpy just sink his claws further into Anakin was delicious, and there was some great dialogue in here, some fun fight scenes, some nice twists to how the story and the plot went. Really enjoyed this episode. It was definitely the strongest episode of this arc. Good conclusion. So with that said, we are now moving on to the final 4 episodes. We've got a couple arcs left. First off, it's back to Ventress for a 2-episode arc, starting with the episode Massacre. So Ventress is finally returning to Dathomir. She's been out hiding for a while, and, well, she needs sanctuary. She needs a support system, really. And I suppose, not surprising, Mother Talzin quite supportive of Ventress. Now that said, we're also definitely pushing, guess what, you're gonna come join your sisters, and that's all you need, is just us and yourself. You've got everything you need. You have your breath, your skill, and your sisters. So now Ventress is going to become a true Night Sister. So she undergoes this whole ritual to get rid of her old life and bring herself into the whole Night Sister tradition. Well, meanwhile, Dooku has decided, screw them, it's time to get rid of you guys. So Grievous is going and leading a big assault on Dathomir to wipe out the witches. And so much for that celebration. We get a lot of sadness in this one. I mean, everybody we've gotten to know amongst the Night Sisters. Heck, the Night Sister who was so kind to Ventress even in this episode gets killed by a falling statue. That said, Mother Talzin, whew, impressive. She's up floating with this giant green bubble, green lightning going out. I mean, pretty freaking cool. Wouldn't want to go fight her. Now, this was a really fun and good fight. I mean, other than the droids not shooting when they had clear shots, we could chalk that up to dumb droids. So, definitely fun. So what else happens during this fight? Because it certainly doesn't end this quick. Mother Talzin makes this kind of portal thing and goes through into a rock cave and visits Daka, who is the oldest and wisest and who will go raise the dead into a giant army. So all of those pods that were up there apparently were full of dead Night Sisters. I just went, whoa, cool. They're full of dead Night Sisters so they can raise an army of the undead later. Yo, that is a cool secret weapon. Meanwhile, we also do this voodoo kind of thing because Mother Talzin has a lock of Dooku's hair and then starts torturing him because she's going to take her time in killing him. Or more accurately, for all of our sakes, going to take her time because we know Dooku has to still survive all this and make it over to episode 3. Well, part of this culminates in a giant duel between Ventress and Grievous. And it goes and, well, Grievous cheats. It shouldn't surprise you. Because his droids fire in, and then he gets the upper edge in the overall fight as Ventress has to retreat, and you just start watching Night Sister after Night Sister die. Yeah. Well, Grievous ends up getting told to follow that green mist and follows it all the way over to where Mother Talzin is and Daka is. And, well, then Daka gets killed, which means all the undead go back to just being dead, which means any of those Night Sisters who were left, well, That's it for them. They're gone. But hey, Mother Talzin kind of escapes into green smoke, so it seems like she's alive, but I don't know what form she is or how she pulled that off, but she seems to still be alive in a way. So this is a bleak ending. As we get there, Ventress gets visited by the green smoke version of Mother Talzin, who essentially tells Ventress that, guess what, they're all dead. And guess what, Ventress, you get to go follow your own path now. Sorry about that. I know I said you had your sisters, and that would be great and all, but yeah, that didn't last very long. And so after that, Ventress is on her knees, and all alone. I mean, after she sought sanctuary here on Dathomir, and now they're all dead. Very much enjoyed this episode, and just wow, what a bleak ending. We massacred the entire clan. Did not see that coming, and wow. So that one caught me by surprise right there, and I loved this episode. It was very good. Okay, we're not done with Ventress. We're going to go ahead and, see her get back on her feet now. So let's move on to the episode Bounty. So Ventress heads off to the Outer Rim and onto what little planet that everybody loves visiting, Tatooine, over to Mos Eisley. So she's definitely drinking and a little depressed seeming. I mean, when you see all your Night Sisters get massacred and you feel a little responsible on top of all that, yeah. By the way, just a note here, don't be a creepy asshole who hits on Ventress. Not a good move. Unless you want to die and get just killed with a lightsaber. I mean, if you want that, I guess great move, go for it. Okay, now it's time to go see a whole bunch of bounty hunters. So we've got Bosk, and we've got Dengar, and hey, we've got Boba Fett, who is their boss. And there's actually two others. We've got this robot, who's one of the members, but then there's also Lots Rossi. And she seems pretty cool as purple female alien. So yeah, looks like a cool team. Now Ventress goes ahead and joins them on their job. Not that they give her a whole lot of choice, let's be honest. Because guess what, that person she killed just a little bit ago? Well, that was one of the people in their job. Yeah. Let's see. So off they go to some new planet that we haven't seen in Clone Wars yet. We got these new aliens, and they kind of have this cool beak thing that can part in 4 different ways. Really nice. That's cool. And I guess here for our bounty hunters, they're off to protect some cargo and don't open it regardless of what happens. One of those. And hey, we found a good excuse to make this like a great train robbery kind of thing. We've got these ninja-looking attackers, and we got fighting that goes on for a little while, all kinds of different little changes, so it's definitely plenty of fun. And we get to see that apparently that green scarf thing that Latz was wearing is actually this really cool weapon. Speaking of surprises you didn't see coming. Really liking Latz. I mean, she definitely seems to be popping up as a bigger character here, one I expect to see more of in the future rather than just here. So as the fight goes on, we slowly knock out one bounty hunter after another, after another, after another, until hey, it's just Boba and good old Ventress left. And guess who's in the chest? Yes, I said who, because it's Pluma! And apparently her brother Crismo was the one leading the ninjas and trying to rescue her, because she's being forced to be the bride of this other king guy down there. Yeah, lovely stuff. Well, good old Crisma beats Boba Fett, but of course Ventress unsurprisingly beats Crismo. But at least good old Pluma's able to get through to Ventress. You don't know what it's like to be ripped away from your family. Yeah, she probably does. Yeah, she certainly does. Well, Boba Fett and Ventress get into a fight over all of this. And Ventress ends up giving the chest over to our good old king dude. And gets all the money and leaves. Oh, but yeah, Boba Fett was in the chest. But Ventress, you see, she does have a heart. I mean, not that we didn't already know that. She lets good old Pluma and Crismo go and get away. Although, she does take a little money from them while she's at it. And then she heads on up to the end of the episode where she gives everybody their own fair share of the money, including, hey, there's a share for Boba Fett once he comes back. Ventress the Honorable. But she's not going to go stay with them and keep working with them. Because, guess what? She's not part of any team. It's not that she's too good for them. She has a nice closing line. One of those, once I was just like you, but I'm not that person anymore. Now I have a future. So we can see Ventress has started to recover from the events of the last episode, and hey, I gotta say, Ventress episodes remain quite good. Keep them coming. I definitely love my Ventress episodes. Okay, folks. It's time for the two-part, right for the season finale. We're starting with Brothers. Now, right off the bat, this one catches you because guess what? That little yellow Clone Wars title? It's red this time. I gotta admit, seeing that was exciting. I'm like, ooh, what's this mean? So we start this whole thing off with all of this ominousness. Ominousness? It's very ominous anyway. Well, I mean, we go around to all kinds of different people who are all sensing that Savage is at and about and the danger that is coming. So Dooku and Grievous are together, and Dooku can sense Savage oppress. Then we have Mother Talzin, who is following his journey and making certain preparations. And then we even get to see Ventress again, and she's over with Lots. The two of them are talking, which I think is cool. Looking forward to seeing more of them. And anyway, Ventress senses Savage as well. And then Anakin and Ahsoka show up to this diner after Savage has wrecked the whole bloody thing. And well, they let the authorities handle it, but as they're leaving, Anakin senses a disturbance in the Force too. So there's this great setup of all kinds of people just really sensing in the Force the danger. Okay, so Savage eventually figures out he needs to get over to the junk fields on Lotho Minor, because good old Darth Maul is somewhere in there. Well, when he gets there, I mean, other than getting a whole lot out of bloody frustration about this amulet and thinking half of the time it doesn't work, because Savage is a little quick to anger, shall we say. Yeah. Well, anyway, he finds this funky talking snake-like thing down on the planet, and it's only too happy to just lead him around and over to Maul, because it's actually working for the creature that Maul is bringing food to Maul, so we can then get the leftover bits of food. Good times. Some other interesting things about that planet. Good old Savage gets to have a fight with some of the locals. He's only too happy to. Got to avoid acid rain. Apparently there's some really nasty acid rain. Well, I would figure it's Junk Planet after all, right? Well, that snake, well, he betrays Savage, gets him dumped down there to Maul. And, well, Savage ends up killing the snake. More because I think he's pissed about the snake letting Maul be the way he is than the fact that he got betrayed by him. Regardless, that thing's dead. Don't piss off Savage. I mean, whew, anger. And so now we get to see Maul, or what Maul has become, and he's more of this mindless spider. That's what the mechanical bottom of him looks like, shall we say. So he seems to have lost his mind. We get all these ramblings out of him. Savage asks him, "Do you remember who you are?" Sometimes he's got something intelligible, like you're a little bit... "Always remember I am fear. Always remember I am hunter. Always remember I am filth. Always remember I am nothing." Whew. The anger, the fear, self-loathing in here, just all of that. "I ask not for mercy," more ramblings. "Revenge. I must have revenge." Man, I can't imagine being Savage and seeing his brother like this. A brother he's been looking for so long. Looking up to, frankly. Yeah. We close out with Obi-Wan and Yoda talking because Yoda fears that Obi-Wan is in danger from an old enemy and senses that, guess what, it is Darth Maul. So Obi-Wan gets that reveal there too. And that's how we end this episode, and it's just like, whew, wow. I gotta admit, I knew Maul was coming, and this is not what I had expected Maul to be like at all when we first encountered him. He is a completely broken man who has lost it. Although revenge does seem to give him a little bit of clarity, at least for a moment. Now, I was really pleased that this was very different than I expected. That just makes it that much more interesting to me. So, wow, very cool. And I have to say, this episode was filled with so much ominousness at the beginning, during it, at the end, just really leading to what the future might hold. Wow. Yeah, very cool. Very different than what I expected. Love this. Looking forward to the next part. And here we come. Let's go on to the episode. It's called Revenge, and it is the season finale. So again, we got that red title. Now Savage is going to go take Darth Maul over back to Mother Talzin, who's going to go ahead and try to help him. We get over on the planet and, well, remember the massacre that happened here. The aftermath of it is just visible all around here on Dathomir. It's like, ouch. Mother Talzin has an interesting line talking to Savage as he sees that massacre. Just telling him that, yeah, we will survive as always. I mean, you're brought down to this. It's just you. And you'll still survive as always. It's an intriguing one. How the heck do you get that to work? Need some more backstory on the good old witches of Dathomir right here. Well, we end up with this big old ritual, and good old Mother Talzin restores Darth Maul, gives him a new bottom half. And look at him, I mean, looks stronger, bigger, nice. Darth Maul talks about how his path has been so dark and darker than he had ever imagined it would be. You know, getting cut in half, I do suppose, might do that to you. Damn. We get to hear more about Darth Maul's pain. Just how the Clone Wars began without him. He was supposed to be there. He was apprenticed to the most powerful Force user and got robbed of his destiny. How dare Obi-Wan? So he's starting with revenge, hatred, anger. Yeah, the things that drive him, hell, the things that kept him even somewhat sane during the whole course of what he went through. I wouldn't say sane, but just a tiny bit of sanity. Let's put it that way. So first off, we're off to Radonia, which kind of looks a little bit like Felucia to me. And, well, there the two of them go slaughter a whole ton of people to get attention. And they call for good old Obi-Wan to go out there by himself. And Obi-Wan does just that. And apparently Yoda knows that Obi-Wan will have an unexpected ally show up. And so they feel a little better about that. Although I've got to say, Darth Maul has said that he's just going to go massacre more people if Obi-Wan doesn't come. You're really sending Obi-Wan by himself? Nobody else? This is Darth Maul, reincarnate. I think I would send some more Jedi. The danger is, what, they're going to kill more people? Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You're trying to stop them anyway. So, yeah. Seems like a bad plan. Oh, well. Onward the plan goes anyway. So Obi-Wan arrives to see, well, this massacre. We're all about massacres lately. I will say our opening shot with Obi-Wan seeing Maul, very picturesque. He's got the background behind him is just this burning building, and whew, nicely done. Now, between Savage and Maul, they manage to knock out Obi-Wan. They get him up onto their ship. They're going to start going wherever. And Ventress pops on in and rescues Obi-Wan. I'm sorry, fun conversation here. Obi-Wan, when did you become the good guy? Don't insult me. What a lovely sight to wake up to. Don't flatter yourself. You've never been much to look at, especially now. Woo! Oh man, I've got to see some more verbal wordplay between these two. This is fun. Well, now we get this big old lightsaber fight, and we've got 4 red lightsabers, because Ventress gave Obi-Wan one of her red lightsabers. Which, whoa, visually that is just cool. And it was a really good fight. It goes on, eventually we get Obi-Wan with his classic blue lightsaber versus Maul one-on-one. And something interesting in here. Darth Maul actually goaded him into a little bit of rage by invoking Qui-Gon. Being that Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon in front of him, it actually made Obi-Wan unbalanced a little. Now that is impressive. It's gotta be hard to get under Obi-Wan's skin like that. Wow. Pretty cool. Well, Obi-Wan and Ventress are outmatched and they know it, and they get out of there. They escape. And one more quick clever line between the two about the whole escaping. I learned from watching you. Dang, Obi. You're working with her. You might not want to piss her off too much. Even if you're a snarky smart aleck the way you always are. Oh, good times. Well, to go ahead and close this out, we get to see Maul and Savage talking a little more. So Maul has decided they're not going to go chase down Obi-Wan and Ventress right now. Nope, they're going to be patient. He's waited years and years for his revenge. He can wait a little bit longer. No kidding, he's waited ages. And hey, good old Darth Maul, counting on the Jedi to come after them. And we do this super close-up on Darth Maul's face, focusing on his eyes as there are shadows both above and below, which which is a cool final shot piece before we end. It's like, oof, nice. Very nice. Well, I can't wait to see where all of this goes. I'm expecting big things, both because this was as good as it was, and I also know that Darth Maul is big on Clone Wars. As much as I've avoided spoilers, you can't avoid them all, and that's certainly one of them. And this was a good finale. It was ominous, full of potential, the way that a good finale certainly can and ought to be. What a great combination of characters we had in this episode. Oof, loved it. This was definitely one of the best episodes of the season. There you go. Season 4. Dang, still getting better. Even with how much those first episodes, I gotta admit, really didn't work for me at the beginning of Season 4, no question for me that this is definitely the best season of Clone Wars so far. My favorite episodes so far and my favorite arc so far are in here. You remember the Umbaran arc I utterly loved. And I would be surprised, as I said then, if it doesn't end up in my top 5 for arcs when I finish watching the series. That's how much I loved it. And that said, there was so much else that was so good in this season. We got to spend a lot more time with Ventress, and she is such a cool character and so different, and it's really cool to actually get to make her a main character and see from her point of view on occasion. And now we've finally brought Darth Maul in. Been waiting for that one. To be honest, I thought it was going to happen sooner than this. I didn't know when it was really coming in. And I'm curious as heck to see where that's heading. I imagine maybe we get to see Crimson Dawn formed? Well, anywho, whatever ends up happening, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Well, except for the droid episodes and the supposed peak droid fail that I'm someday going to finally reach. Well, anywho, next week it's going to be on to Season 5 of Clone Wars. As I've said often before, thank you for sticking with me. I really enjoy all the comments you chime in with. There's so much in there. And I learned so much more about the series, and I've had some interesting exchanges that have changed how I view different parts of Clone Wars so far. Always feel free to challenge my opinion, or just have a different one. After all, it's only my opinion you're challenging, no problem there. And hey, on that note, what about you? Did you think Season 4 of Clone Wars was the best yet? What was your favorite episode in Season 4? Let me know down below in the comments. And thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like and share it with someone else who will too. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it yet already. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you always.